Sunrise Drive. I'm on US 18 here in Iowa. I left the Interstate 35 about 15 miles ago. It's Mason City, Iowa. And the 18 and the 218 cut down to Interstate 80 that runs across Iowa. So my stop will be in Waterloo for fuel. There's a Flying J. And then continue down the Interstate 380. Resume on Interstate 218 all the way down into Missouri. Then finally cut across the river and get into Quincy, Illinois, where I'll deliver. So it's a nice, relaxing drive. Nice little sunrise. It's about 6:30 in the morning on Friday. Last night, after picking up, I was barely able to make it to the Petro at the 90 and the 35 interchange. It has a lot of parking in there. Nice little restaurant, McDonald's, Taco Bell. They do have a TA shop with about 5 bays, so it's a major hub here in the Midwest for truckers. And then along this route after the Flying J, there's pretty much nothing on it as far as resources for truckers, but just another shipment. So I woke up at 5:10 this morning, got my hours back, started my pre-trip inspection, made myself a coffee. Didn't eat any breakfast, but feel hungry. So type in the comments below what your morning routine is. Do you usually have coffee or not? And how long do you normally sleep per night? I usually only sleep 6 hours. So I woke up a little bit before my alarm. Check the temperature outside. It was a balmy 38 degrees. Now back in, I think it was February or March, whenever it was, for the Iowa caucus, I was driving for another company back then, and it was so cold, the landing gear on the trailer froze. When I went to drop the trailer and pick up a loaded one, I could not lower the landing gear. It was like 10 degrees. It gets cold up here in Iowa. And the place I went to in Minnesota is a small town. It's only 35,000 people. When you drive through, you're wondering where and how big are the city limits. It didn't look like a big town. So this morning's shipment is only about 5.5 hours. Should arrive between 11 and noon. Depending on the back roads. So the US 18 right here is a 4-lane divided highway. This is nice. We haven't hit any small towns yet. But coming up, when it changes from the 18 to the 218, there's a small little town. And from there down to the Interstate 80. It's also a 4-lane divided highway, which is nice. Quincy, Illinois is basically the middle of nowhere in Illinois. I am able to get back down to St. Louis for a pickup or back onto a major interstate. Pick up the weekend shipment, find out where that's going, and finish out my driving today with about 4 to 5 hours of driving. Hopefully a 7 to 10 hour driving shift tomorrow. Tuck in for the 34-hour reset. Watch some football, do some laundry. I haven't even looked at all the big college games this weekend. And my best friend Johnny, he's a huge Bengals fan. I messaged him in the first quarter last night of the Bengals and Ravens game when the Bengals were up 7-0. I was like, oh, this is a good start. Woke up this morning and found out the Ravens won 35-34. So Cincinnati's not having that good a year. I think they're 4-6 now. But he's been a longtime Bengals fan since the mid-90s, I think. He even had season tickets for 3 years where he was driving from Richmond to Cincinnati every other weekend for the home games. And then they finally made it to the Super Bowl, and he flew out to LA to go see him play in the Super Bowl. Now he's like, I don't even want to watch this year. But that's how it is in the NFL. So mid-season, it looks like it'll come down to the Chiefs and the Ravens. This is Iowa. I mean, pretty much cornfields for forever. Minnesota both only have basically 2 interstates. Up in Minnesota you have the 35 and the 90 and the 94, but that's way north. But here in Iowa you have the 35 and the 80. Other than that, the states depend on U.S. highways and state highways. So a quick quiz for you. If it's a 4-lane divided highway and the school bus goes by, does the opposite direction of travel have to stop if the school bus puts out the stop sign. Comment that in the comments below, whether you think they do or not. And then tell me which state you're from, and I may learn something from it. Surprisingly, the state highways and the U.S. highways up here are well maintained. Now you do have to watch out for this truck. Yeah, he's going for it. Alright. Well, come on. Holy geriatric. Reminds me of the movie Dumb and Dumber, when he asked the lady to watch his stuff. If you guys remember that joke, comment it down below. Jim Carrey was hilarious in that movie. You can hear the change in the road condition. Now the tires are humming a little bit. Have completed their harvest by now. You still see all the hay that has been rolled and is ready for storage or sale. Long, straight, and flat. Perfect conditions for a trucker to be happy. Now, there have been a couple of comments about my cooking. I appreciate the comments. It tells me you guys watched it. One of them said that it's a little bit too much to cook filet mignon. I do soup and sandwich. I do the better cheddars and sauerkraut. I do chicken and rice a lot. The ribeye, the pork chops, the salmon. All of those were just special meals for me that I enjoy cooking out of the truck, just to show that it is possible. Using the fold-out table from Walmart is so helpful. Of course, the Foreman grill, the hot water kettle, the little sandwich maker that I bought for 10 bucks at Walmart. All of that just makes life easier in the truck. And then talking about the hours of service, we have to have at least a 30-minute break. You can have more, but most truckers just do the 30-minute break. So they need to cook quick. The way that I've stocked my truck is pretty much a package that everybody can buy. If you're in the areas where there's tornadoes or hurricanes a lot, just as your emergency supplies. Most of the the food that I've bought, with the exception of the fresh meat, you're able to eat it cold. And it's a lot better if it is warm, but you are able to eat it cold. So buying the 4-pack of the chicken chunks and then 4 packs of the Uncle Ben's microwavable rice. That's basically a chicken and rice MRE meal. A meal ready to eat that we had in the military. And of course you can throw on some cheese or add Tabasco however you like it. But it's just the easiest way for me to keep food on the truck that I like, but that I also eat regularly. And some places here in Iowa will have a town of 800 to 1,000 people. Just a small town. Everybody knows each other, they help each other out. Alright, and like I discussed, we just switched over to the US 218. From here to Waterloo is pretty short. Now that the sun has come up, it's a lot easier to see. Driving the back roads of Arkansas and Louisiana and Texas in the dark is not fun. So this has been rural Iowa. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next video. That's a wrap.